So in the last couple of weeks, I've gone to see 3 of Cineworld's secret screenings, and here's what I thought. The first film is I Swear, which tells the true story of John Davidson and his experience of having Tourette's from the 80s to the current year. And I really love this film. I do think it can get very sentimental, but that's because it cares about the subject that it's talking about with Tourette's. I think you can see a real contrast in when it was the 80s to the current year. I think this film is really important because there needs to be education and understanding when it comes to Tourette's because a lot of people don't understand it. And a lot of this film kind of says, laugh with me, not at me. And I thought that was excellent. I would highly recommend going and checking this one out when it comes out this Friday in UK cinemas. The second film is Urchin, which is written and directed by Harris Dickinson. And I'm not going to lie, I think this is probably one of the most impressive directorial debuts that I've seen in a long time. I think some of the arty elements really work. The acting's excellent, and I think it really highlights an area that we need to kind of work on in the UK, especially, and probably other areas of the world, in homelessness, and also how you're going to help somebody transition from homelessness into a normal life. I would say check this one out. It has already come out. I think it was last Friday, October the 3rd, but I would highly recommend if it's near you. And the third film was Good Boy. Unfortunately, this is my least favourite out of the three. I am a massive fan of horror and dogs, so it's kind of a win win, but it just doesn't really work as a horror, in my opinion. I think it's quite cliche, and I think without actually having the USP of it being filmed from the dog's point of view and the dog's acting, which is incredible, and probably a lot better than a lot of other actors. Without that, it's a pretty forgettable film, and it would have been lower rated. I think without it, I probably would have given it a 2, but with it, I've given it a 3, which I think is fair. And it's obviously a labour of love. It took 400 days, and it's the director's dog. I think all in all, it's not as good as I was hoping, but I would still check it out. It's come out in America already on the 3rd, but it comes out this Friday for us. So if you're somebody that doesn't overly like horror, I think you're going to be fine with some of the scares around it. There wasn't anything that particularly got me. One person in the theatre of mine did scream, so take that as you will. But go check it out. Some of the dog acting is brilliant, so it's a good one. And follow me for more film and TV content.